and I welcome all of you on behalf of the IPN family. And I would now begin this discussion with a formal introduction to Dr. Kunal. Dr. Kunal Anand is a very distinguished and prominent Indian educator and administrator who currently serves as the principal of Delhi Public School Udhampur in Jammu and Kashmir. He is recognized for his contributions to the field of school education, particularly in the areas of innovation, teacher training, and academic administration. Under his leadership, the school has received several national awards, including the Indo Global Best School of the Year Award and recognition for outstanding board results. Mr. Dr. Kunal is also a regional mentor of change at the Atal Innovation Mission by Niti Aayog. He serves as a key mentor for the ATL, where he guides the school and student in fostering innovation, problem solving, and 21st century skills. He is also CBSE City Coordinator, which is, I believe, for the city of Jammu. In this capacity, he acts as a bridge between the CBSE and local schools, overseeing board examination and administrative compliance. He's also a CBSE master trainer. He's a certified trainer by CBSE, conducting workshops for teachers and principals in India and abroad. Recently conducted a 6-day training program for schools of UAE in Jeddah, Riyadh, and Dubai on topics like national education policy, life skills, and happy classrooms. He also conducted training program for more than 3,000 school principals of India and South Africa on the pedagogical leadership. And there are a series of accolades which he has bagged. I will only make a mention that he was also IPN Impact Honor winner for that matter. So on that note, I hand it over to you, Dr. Kunal. Firstly, welcome. Good to have you. Lovely to see you. And I'm handing over the floor for you to begin with your top priorities. The number 10 is an exhaustive number. It can be less or more, but once you are done with it, then we may go to the Q&A format of this. Okay, over to you.
A very happy evening, Gaurav and Team IPN. I'm truly honored that the kind of introduction sir has given for me, being a young, energetic and all. It's not like that. I only color my hair. That's why they don't look gray. So it's not that I am not aging, I am also aging. But yes, thankfully, a lot of thanks to Gaurav for recognizing me and, thinking that I can be a part of this discussion. I was a part of this 2 years back also. And now again, I have got this platform of talking about these top 10 priorities. Really, it's an honor for me to be on this stage with the best of educators from across India and the globe. Though I don't think when Gaurav sir asked me for the same, I said, do you think I can fit in? So he said, definitely you can and you will be able to contribute. So I just tried my bit that if I can be a little contributor towards this thing. Presently, as I told you, I'm working as a principal for Delhi Public School in Udhampur branch. We have around 11 DPSs in J&K and I am heading one of them. It's been last 8 years with DPS. And it's truly an amazing journey with this institution. When it comes to talk shows, when it comes to podcasts, when it comes to discussions, we have a lot to talk. But then again, we get involved with the school routine activities. And at the end of the day, we forget our priorities and we are only prioritizing our school, the routine works, what we are doing. So definitely at the end of these 60 minutes, even I would be looking forward that how other principals and educators contribute to this idea that are we able to prioritize, first of all? That's the biggest question we all have, that will we be able to prioritize 10 things or 10, 15 things or 20 things for the coming academic session? Or we'll be only again left with the same thing that, we have to carry on with our routine works and same running for the board, running for the admissions, running for the syllabus completion. I guess that is something which we all run for all the time. So then, looking, please, Gaurav, you had something to add on.
No, please. I was just affirming on that yes, that's the way it is usually structured, basically.
Given a chance, we'll talk a lot. But then That's why what I've tried today is I was just penning down that what exactly should we look at, or what are my priorities. I would be, I'll be putting it like what priority for the coming step. Every year the resolutions are made. We all do that. Deciding that I'll start going to the first and last day of
your network is dropping a bit, Kunal. I don't know if that is correct on my part, but I'm not able to hear you properly. Maybe you may like to switch off your mobile, because I understand J&K has trouble with network. Definitely, I understand that. But whatever the best way is, I think he dropped out. Yeah. So yeah. Yes. We are trying to see that how best can we resolve it from Kunal's end. Basically, let us just try that. I think he will join us back. Yeah. Kunal, your network was a little problematic. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe because of I'm sitting at Udhampur, so probably
absolutely.
Would be.
So what I would recommend is, if you can put your video, if you feel like, whenever you feel, once you have made it a point, then you can come back on the video. But right, I think you can continue. Your voice is working fine now. Go ahead, please.
Perfectly.
Okay, I think we again lost you I think we lost you in terms of your voice not coming. You'll have to, can you just put your video off? Yeah. Can you just put your video off and try? Maybe that works better. So what we'll do is, in the meantime, just to make sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
This is what the problem is. Otherwise, it's working fine. But when you're having something on the call, it will always create a problem. However, let me put my first idea, or the first priority, which we call it, learning well-being profile of students. Every time we make anecdotals, or we are working on the report cards, like a holistic report card has also come in, which is definitely a very good idea. But we never profile our children. We never profile them in the way their learning abilities should be taken care of. Like if you're having a profile, or let's call it an anecdotal, or any way you maintain a record of your child, it should have the academics, definitely. It should have an interest cycle. What is the interest of the student? There should be a SWOT analysis, the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. A SWOT analysis of the child. There should be there should be a proper way of looking at this thing. What I'm looking at this year, we are developing this idea where we can put them in the anecdotals itself and add and look at it every 3 months or 6 months. 3 months, definitely, probably we cannot do it because of the n number of other activities going across. But let's review it twice in a year and see whether our children whom we are teaching every year, are they actually learning something? Because again, whatever we talk about the new education policy, or we talk about the NCF, we talk a lot, but when it comes to practically implementing them, there are a lot of hindrances. So why not to begin with small steps? As a principal, if I have known my child well, or as a teacher, let me put it this way, because of course, for a principal to know 3,000, 4,000 students would technically not possible. But as a teacher who's handling 35 or 40 of the students in a classroom, she or he must have this record with them, which I call this as well-being profile. Right. Let's not put it anecdotal or report card. Let's put it as a well-being profile, which I can revisit after, in 6 months, maybe. And when we are, when the child is passing to the next class, the same observation can be shared with the next teacher, so that the teacher has understanding. Because let's not put, let's be more personalized with the children rather than labeling them. We are very fast in labeling them. He's not doing well, slow learner, not a very good bloomer, maybe not this, we start labeling. So let's not label the children. Let's have a personalized way of looking at them, which can be done in the form of a well-being profile of the child, or whatever way you want to put the name to. There is nothing we can, there should be a name like well-being only. Anything which you can put it across. It is not necessary a well-being profile, but a profile, an anecdotal, a report card, whatever you would like to call it, where not just the marks of academics and grades of extracurricular activity there should be something to do with the interest of the children, the SWOT analysis of the children, and that should be revisited in the right form, not just to fill it. Because what happens whenever we create anything new, it is only becomes another burden, an additional burden for our teachers, maybe for the people who are looking at it, because we have to fill it. So every time this thing becomes a priority, because sir has said or ma'am have asked, let's fill it. Right. But they're not revisiting it. So I think as a principal, first priority this year would definitely be having my children having a well-being profile. So that would be number one from my end. So moving on to number two, which I guess we have discussed n number of times, but we never get a way out to work on it. Let's replace homeworks with meaningful practices. When I say replacing homework with meaningful practices, we have discussed it at length in many forums, but we never come out with an idea what to do it. So here I would say, let's have something called choice-based assessment. You have done a lesson with the child, and the child, now the homework needs to be given. Probably let the child decide whether he would like to do it in a regular paper, pen paper format, notebook copying. He would like to do a project on it, a small project which he can present. Would he like to reflect on it? What are his reflections on it? Maybe he can make a model out of it, or maybe he can make a video out of it. Or let's put it like Gen Zs, why not to make a reel out of it? Why not given the chance to the children to do something differently? Every time we give, okay, go back home, do these 5 exercise questions, write them in your notebook and come back. So that's the routine way of doing it. We talk about it, but we have never thought about how we should change this perspective. In a class of 35 students, I understand for a teacher, it won't be that easy. It is not an impossible task also. Maybe for the first lesson, it could be roll number 1 to 10 who are doing this. And then in the second lesson, roll number 11 to 20 can do that, and so on. It is not necessary that we have to do it with every lesson for every child. This will be a great peer learning also, when the children would come out with project or with reflections or with their videos, or I may call it reels. Just imagine the quantum of learning they have from each other. Because easy to say, Absolutely. What I said in my previous thing also, no labeling. So if it is more personalization, it will be easier for us, for the child to give an idea he would like to learn. This is what is our priority, to make the child learn. Absolutely. How he's been able to learn new things. So when we make them learn, there can be ways of learning them. We all have that no bag policy, no bag day, probably a Saturday, a no bag day. Let's make it, say it as an experience day for them. Why a no bag day? Let's call it an experience day. Let them experience things. Probably a class 2 child may go to a science lab or may go to an Atal lab and see and experience nothing. Nevertheless, let him go out for a walk. Let him go out for a walk in the school garden, where he can actually see trees, where he can actually see other things which are around. He can talk about birds, he can talk about atmosphere, he can talk about the season, anything. So why it's a no bag policy? Because again, CBSE says a no bag policy. So I'm having a no bag policy. Rather than having a clear no bag policy, let's make it experience day. So because once you give these new terminologies, kids get more attracted. Teachers feel more important. They would also be, putting in more ideas and efforts to make the things happen. So if we make it an experience day, let them experience things around them. Let them learn from experiencing, and let them go and have swings. Doesn't matter. You can teach them mathematics from there. There are so many things a child can be taught even when he or she is not having a book or a paper in his hand. So an experience should be created. So my second priority this session would definitely be where I would like to replace homeworks with more meaningful practices. I'm not saying that I'm not going to give you a homework. Normally, such practices are already done. In summer vacations, we are giving projects. Nowadays, art integrated projects. They all are a part of it. But then again, how we are doing it? We are doing it as a compulsion, either through school or through CBSE, that we have to complete this thing. When I talk about these art integrated projects, friends, there is so much to learn out of it for us as well, for teachers, for students. When they say integrated art projects, so it's not only about creating a project, submitting it and getting an internal marks for the same. This is where we go wrong. For us, everything is basically governed by the marks we are receiving or we are giving at the end of the program. So even if it is a science project, it's an integrated project, we would never look at the learning part from there. Always look at how many marks I get. And we know with the junior schools, most of the projects are being prepared by the parents. Or nowadays, you have a lot of vendors also who are preparing projects and sending it out to you. You spend a little amount and you get a project. So what is the point of learning through that? Kid is not learning. Either if you have this much of place and capacities, you can make them do the projects at school. So this is one way of doing it, which probably is not very practical because of the time prosperity and other aspects. So let's give them something where they actually learn out of things. And I tell you, friends, when we start talking about it, wherever you go in the school, any honor, any assignment, any event, everything is a learning. It's about us, how we make it a learning experience for our children. So that would be number 2, where I talk about these priorities. This will be number 2 priority for me, looking at the scenario. Third would be, let the teachers, now let's come to a little bit on the teachers part also. Let's teachers not only be content creators, let them be content deliverers. We always ask the teachers to make their lesson plans. We make them do other whatever assignments, their papers, the question banks, everything they are creating. The whole year passes in creating. They never get a chance to deliver. If you, from a principal's perspective, even I would be doing the same thing, because that's why it's a priority for me this year to change, that I would like my teachers to develop, like they can develop pedagogy. I'll give an example. In the COVID year, our school, we did an exercise on developing pedagogy for every subject. So now we don't need lesson planners. We have a set pedagogy and we know what to do with this. So there is no lesson planning thing with us. We have a pedagogy. Okay, noun has to be taught in A, B, C, D, E, F manner. Probably a little change in the activity. And my learning objective and learning outcomes are very, very clear. There's nothing much to do. So let the teacher be a developer towards pedagogy. One more idea which I had put in those days was getting the teachers to publish a paper. Why every time we have to wait for PhDs and MPhils to publish our papers? We have our best practices. And I guess our teachers are the greatest creators of best practices because they create our classrooms. They are the people who do that. So why not they create, even if one paper they are publishing every year, maybe at the school level to begin with, maybe at the school level. I'm not saying that they have to develop it at some other level, maybe at the school level. And then one paper in a year, you have a team of 140, 150, 200 teachers. Just imagine the kind of bank you create for your own teachers who are coming in new or, having it among themselves. What kind of thing? I always tell my teachers that let's create our staff rooms into resource centers. Let's not call them staff rooms. Let's call them resource centers, because a staff room is a place where you can actually get to know so many things. You want to create a gossip center? Create a gossip center. You want to create a resource center? You can create a resource center. So pedagogical development, digital libraries. Our teachers have so much of content they make on their own. So why can't that be digitalized and put in the format? So a digital library for the teachers. And of course, an activity bank also. So this all comes out of pedagogy. So activity bank is there. You have penned down 5-10 activities for the year, 200 teachers. How many activities? Just multiply. I'm not good at mathematics because I'm not a mathematician. Just multiply and see the quantum of input you're getting from your own team. You don't need any trainings. You don't need any resource people to come to you and tell you what to do. You can create your teachers into that. And If as school leaders, we are able to give our teachers that kind of an environment and we can work on with them, alongside work with them and create such kind of things, I'm sure we can create wonders in education because our teachers are full of resources. If again, I always give an example of COVID times, it was the teachers who made this learning possible. Shifting to an online mode was definitely not easy, rather impossible for many of us. But they had been working. Otherwise, everybody says teaching profession is easy. You go at 8 o'clock, come back at 2 o'clock. But in the COVID times, teachers were working round the clock, learning themselves and then making their children learn. What have we not done online? We did games classes, activity classes. Schools like us and many more have done their annual days also online. A complete 5.5 hours annual day was held on Zoom. This is what is a power a teacher carries. So if you can actually convert your teachers only from content, creators to content deliverers. So because this content is created by teacher only. Every lesson plan, every activity, everything is created by the teacher. So why not to let them deliver it also? The only problem with us, we don't let them deliver things at the right time. So when we're not able to deliver things, then we'll not be able to get the things correctly the way we wish to have it. So third most priority would be that let's have teachers, creators, create the content and then deliver it as well. Like we tried one thing called a test series. Everybody has pre-boards. Last to last year, we tried this idea. We took a week. Like for in English, we took a week. There were 3 assessments on a Monday, on a Wednesday, and on a Friday. There were 3 assessments. So 3 assessments on a Monday when you did the assessment. After the assessment, sit down with the teacher, take key, correct your answer, take it down to the next class and make it another one. So one complete week was a revision for one subject. It worked out very well for us. But then because we have less number of working days, every year it is not possible. But this really worked that you have one subject for 1 week. So you complete that subject and there's no burden of having 12 or 15 chapters to be read together. You can always have 3 or 4 in the first assessment, then give them a question and answer key, let them correct, do a peer checking, give them the clearance whatever discussions need to be done, talk on those important points and move on to the next 4 chapters. And end of the 1 week, you are completely revised, done with one subject completely. So that really works for the teachers. It's an amazing idea where they can work and created by teachers. They're creating, at times they're playing, kids will never turn up on a test day. That's the biggest problem we all face, that kids will never turn up on the test day when you ask them to take a test. So once what we did or idea we did was, we said there's a match tomorrow. So everybody was happy that there's a match tomorrow. So everybody was there. There's a physics match tomorrow. So probably they had an idea, probably science children would be having a match. So let's have a physics match tomorrow. So how the match was played? We said them how you normally do. If you're not in the field, what you do? They said we make paper balls and we have that registers. We all have done that in the class, playing cricket with that paper made balls and the register to play with. So we had 2 teams. Captain decided who's going to bat, who's going to ball. Now there were paper balls. Now what was the click here? That you played, you hit it. It was only 4s and 6s. There was no running for this thing. There were only 4s and 6s. So if you hit and whosoever catches that particular ball has to open that paper ball. The moment they open, there was a physics question. They need to answer that hard question now. So it was an interesting interaction where they were playing also. And of course, if they will not catch the ball, they'll lose the match. Their team would lose. They had to do the catch part and then reflect on what the question is written. You to answer that question and you get it. The person out, if you not to answer the question person is given a second, not out. So this is how you can actually complement with them and make things interesting for students and for teachers as well. So this would be the third point. Fourth, for me, that is the most important point, is happiness and mental fitness. And it is not just about talking about it. It's about fitting them in the timetable. Happiness curriculum, we all must have heard and spoken about, but we never try to induce that into our school systems. In year 29, we developed it used as a period in our them peer circling. You can teach them breathing exercises. You can tell them through storytelling, circulation.
Kunal, can you repeat the first part of this happiness thing? I think we missed out. and your
Certainly.
voice. Yeah, please.
Proper way of having one period on happiness, probably week where you can.
Not able to hear you.
Am I audible now?
Now you are. You will have to repeat the happiness bit all over again, because I think that's an important part which you were trying to say, and then we lost you in between. But we are not unable to hear you as if now.
Okay. Better now?
Yeah. Can you go ahead?
Why not?
No. Not able to hear you. But you have made some very interesting points. I think he's trying to do his best, what he can, considering we are all habitual to 5G networks in NCR now, and we expect the same for every region. But that doesn't happen that way.
Hi, I'm back.
Yeah. Please go ahead. You'll have to start the happiness bit again. Yes, that's what I said.
Okay, done. So I was talking about happiness.
Correct.
So happiness is most important here.
So your voice is echoing. I believe there are two devices
just talking out from the other device.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm now clear. Okay. So developing a happiness quotient in the children, where happiness becomes a part and parcel of your routine timetable. They should not be like we're only talking about it. Let's teach our children what is gratitude. Let's teach our children what is journalizing, personal, peer circle times. We can always put them into, having some storytelling ideas. Or just like what we do after every assembly, for 10 minutes, we have a gratification time. We put on some light music in the class and let the children just look at their breathing. Let's meditate for 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, so that they know what is the importance of happiness, because this is something which we all are missing on. And happiness curriculum itself says there is so much which we can add to the children. And for the convenience, I would love to show, this is my first book, which is it's on stands now on Amazon, Flipkart, everywhere. It is Building Joyful Schools. And this is basically a reflection of happiness curriculum. I have recently put this book on. It has just come in a week, 10 days back. Lot of ideas you'll find in that book. It's available on Amazon, Flipkart, everywhere it is available.
Please send us the link.
I'll do that. I will do that. And here, this happiness quotient, when you're building among your children and your teachers also, we talk about anger-free schools. There was CBSE said there should be anger-free schools. How would schools be anger-free when there is no happiness? Our motive should be, when the children are coming or the teachers are coming to the school, they should be happily coming rather than feeling a burden of coming to the school every time. So this happiness period where they can, they can have a class where they can do a lot of drawing, they can do a lot of talking, they can go to the canteen for some time and have some fun. Let us understand, where is the happiness for our children? Where is the happiness for our teachers? So building upon happy schools or joyful schools will always add that pinch, which we are always looking forward for, that we should have association of, because nowadays you'll find no association of children with the teachers and with the schools. That's where the major problem arises. And somehow we all are responsible equally for it, because we are not creating such kind of classrooms. We're not creating such kind of time where children are getting connected to the schools. So a happiness quotient building or a happiness curriculum or a happiness period is something where they know that every time I go to the school, it's not only about, study, games, curricular, finish. There's something which is called they look forward for. A happiness corner in the class. We let them sketch whatever they want to sketch. They can talk to each other, have experience sharing. So there's so much to learn out of this. So this would be, I think, my most important priority, where I would like to build a school which is happy school. And I guess that should be something which you all should look at this year, that let's try to build happy schools, not just build schools, or let's not just build places where there is so much of confusion. Around us, around our world, it's all confusion. We are in a hookah world nowadays. So let's create that space of happiness. One best thing what we did, you must have noticed in the start of the session also, I never say a good morning or a good afternoon. We always say a happy morning, happy afternoon, happy evening. And my whole school, right from my students to my teachers, to my mates, to my helpers, to my drivers, conductors, they all say happy. So the moment you say happy morning, you start smiling. You just try that. Everybody say happy evening and you start smiling. See, everybody's smiling. Say happy evening. So you'll all start smiling. That's a small effort towards building happiness in the school, where you can greet people by saying good, because we never know it's a good or a bad morning, or a good or bad afternoon. But it can be a happy morning, it can be a happy afternoon. So that's the fourth most important priority I'm looking at. Next, what I'm looking at is, let's have parents as educators. Like let's have educational collaborations with them, and not just have parents-teacher meetings. Because we all have PTMs, and we also have PTAs in the schools where we involve parents for the development purpose. But we nowadays, recently, one of our very senior principals and my mentor, he had floated in one of the groups, like in this helicopter parenting, where parents are always coming and growling at the school leaders or the teachers for whatever smallest thing has been done in the school. What is our opinions on that? So here, the important aspect comes in, is you have to get your parents involved. Not just keep them at the helm of the affairs, keep them involved. We do parent orientations. What we do in the orientations, we normally introduce our school, we talk about good things about our school, and that's the parent orientation over. Have we ever tried to work on the aspects like adolescence education? Have we talked about sex education with them? Have we ever talked about, what is the importance of digital discipline with them? Have we talked about things like respectful communication with them? We don't. Our problem is that we talk about a lot, and orientations are done in every school. Every year, school begins with an orientation for the new parents, because we are talking about our school's best things. But we never talk about these things where we actually turn them respectful communication. We have never done a talk on this thing like that. There has to be a respectful communication between the teacher and the student, a parent and the students. Parents are picking up the phones, calling at any point of time. Why it has not been described in an almanac that this is a time you can call a teacher, not beyond that? And of course, many a times, liking it or not liking it, we also give it up to the parent, because parent is the one who's, in running our schools, because their children are coming to us, and we don't never shadow our teachers. So as an institutional head also, we also have to see that we have to stand for our teachers all the time. And this positive parenting is not just about teaching them how to parent. It's about actually making them understand, because this Gen Zs, whatever we call them, Gen Z, Gel Alpha, Gel Beta, whatever, now it's, I guess, Beta has also come in or what. These people are very vulnerable. So you have to maintain such a kind of a rapport as a parent, as an educator, as a teacher with them, that they should understand what is the importance of this thing. They would never, probably, I won't say that every time it's the student at fault. Maybe we are also at fault at times, but we have never taught them to understand. So for this, we need parents' collaboration. I went to Sri Lanka, I guess 4 or 5 years back. It was a educators tour. It was taken by Government of India only, and they wanted us to see the schools across there. What happened at that point of time was, I went to one of the remotest schools. I even don't remember. It was a government school, a remote school, Colombo. It was almost 50-55 kilometers away. And I found there were a lot of people with yellow color t-shirts, red color t-shirts, blue color t-shirts, green color t-shirts. And they were not looking like students. So under curiosity, I asked the principals, sir, who are they? They said they are the parents. I said, do the parents have a uniform? And we thought, because we are coming, Indian delegation is coming, they must have invited parents. They said, no. If they are blue, they are the ones who are cleaning the school with us. If they are green, they are the ones who are taking care of the gardening part of the school. Red, they are the ones who are teaching in the classes as well. This was a parent association collaboration in a small remote village of Sri Lanka. I always give this example in any of my talks. I've never seen such a collaboration. The parents are cleaning up the corridors of the school and making sure that the plantation done is properly, the gardening is done properly or not. That's how you create that atmosphere. It's on the school leaders that how you create that atmosphere. So this would be yet another priority. Let's have parents as collaborators. Let's have educating parents. Let's start educating parents from time and now. One more thing, everybody is talking about AI and good effects and bad effects of AI. So let's make AI as a learning partner for our children, not just a learning shortcut. You got an answer, ChatGPT kya, and you get the answer. Fair enough. The child is doing it. When he's coming back, as I told you in my first point, when you're asking them to replace the homework with some other project-based thing or some other entertaining thing, let them do it. Let them go back. At least they are researching, coming back to you with an answer. This is what is important. It is not important how they are getting onto it. So AI, teach them the right way of using AI. I'm sure our computer teachers who are literate enough to teach our children the right usage of AI. We have not been able to use AI the way it should be used. We are just, we are here labeling again, AI is not good or AI is doing this or AI doing that. No, we can always use AI as a partnership for our children, a learning partner, rather than just putting them as a shortcut to learning. So this is again depending upon us as school leaders, how you introduce AI to your children. So like we say, we are having artificial intelligence right from class 6 to class 12. We are teaching because it's a subject in senior secondary also. But are we using it in the right way? Or are we making our children understand it in the right way? So this is something which is very important for all of us to understand the right usage of AI. So this will be yet another important part which I would like to prioritize in the coming session. We all listen to what we call as PM के साथ मन की बात, right? So let's replace it with principal के साथ मन की बात. Why not to do that? Let your children, let your teachers come and talk to you openly and not in your offices. Because the moment any teacher or student enters a principal office, they have a different mindset altogether. आपने कभी सोचा होगा, you must have seen that, you ask somebody that principal sir is calling or principal ma'am is calling, उस इंसान की, उस बच्चे की, टीचर की आधी जान वहीं निकल जाती कि मुझे क्यों बुलाया है. Let's not create something like that. You can talk to them in the corridor. You can talk to them in the garden. You can talk to them in the field. Just have a round that day. Probably your round should not be an inspection-based round. It should be a very friendly round where you can actually talk to your children. Somebody's playing basketball. Pick up one of the child. Speak to him. Okay, what about the basketball court? What is the quality of ball? Are you finding it correct? So goes with your teachers. When you're walking down, you can ask her in the staff room anything which you're looking forward for, any addition you want in the, we can help you with. And then it's not only about talking. Then at the end of every month, as a principal, you must put up an informal, kind of a 3 takeaways or 3 initiatives or 3 things you have changed in that month for in-house for your children and for your teachers. So that can also be a very good way. So you can always keep it Man Ki Baat principal ke saath. So because let them talk. Once your children start associating with you, once your children start believing in you, remember our old days or even younger kids, class 1, 2, even if the teacher has done a mistake, maybe a spelling error or a pronunciation error or any error the teacher has done, the mother is saying or the father is saying this is incorrect, the child would never believe it. He said, no, meri ma'am ne padhaya hai. So that is the kind of belief they have in class 1 and 2, and by the class 12th they come and say, "Meri ma'am ko padhana hi nahi aata hai." Ye shift jo hai, this shift has actually creating a trouble for us. Why not the same child who was in class 1 saying कि जो मेरी मैम ने कहा है वही सही है, parents can be wrong, but by the time they reach higher classes or when they grow up, then they think the teacher doesn't know anything because collaboration nahi hai. We are not connected to each other. I know connecting to 2,000, 3,000 students is not possible. But again, in the small bunch of your class, 35, 40, you can connect with them. Be friendly with them. Don't become friends with them. Because again, that is also has got its own disadvantages. So be friendly with your students, but don't become friends to them. So that you can give them that kind of a advantage where they can associate with you. They know there is somebody who is standing by for them every time. So that would be my, I think would be around 7th priority. I would say in the 8th priority, let's replace our annual days with learning showcases. when I say learning showcases, every time we have an annual day, you have a lot of, what you say, cultural presentations, or you may be having it a skit coming up or something like that. A lot of dances and talks on that. Why not they can reflect on what they have learned? We always do debates in the school. Every school is doing it. Debate competitions, inter-house debate competitions. But our parents never see that. We do a lot of project work, which we spoke about, but our parents are not able to see that. Why not let's have something which showcases what the children have done, rather than having a simple annual day where the kids are coming, parents are coming, enjoying a 2 hours, 3 hours program and going back. Let's have they can have literacy fests. You can ask your parents to come down for the literacy fest. You can have science exhibitions, social science exhibitions, maths exhibitions, flower shows, art and craft. We all are doing this, but we are doing it as an activity. We never thought of replacing them with their annual day functions. I'm telling you with experience and tried and tested policy. This year for my senior wing, I never did an annual day. We did a literacy fest and a Vigyan Manthan for them, which was, it turned out to be amazing for our children and parents. Parents thoroughly enjoyed that full day. We added a shark showdown this year. We had 13 teams who were making their own products and selling it out. Believe you me, friends, I never expected our children to do something that differently. But the way they presented those things, the way they had sold their stuff to the outside market, and the kind of stuff they got, the ideas they got, right from itar to, there's a famous bread here called kaladi, from getting to that, or to the clothing, even into painting, what not they have created. So given a chance to do, and that was our annual show this time. There was no annual day for the senior wing of the school. So this is how you can replace the old system of annual days into the learning showcasing, where they can actually showcase their things. So that, I think, is the most important, second most important, and 8th in the series, as a priority, that we as school leaders start replacing the old systems into the new ways of producing things. System, all are same. All school leaders, all school teachers, you all are doing an amazing work. And we are all, whatever I have said in the last 40-45 minutes is something which we all do. But let's channelize them, because these things are always done as an activity calendar, or as a compulsion. We are doing it in the academic year. Let's make it a practice where we can actually enjoy doing those things. So it is rightly said, if you enjoy doing your things, you'll certainly land up into something which is very different and more creative. So we talk about analytical thinking, critical thinking, creative thinking. Where all is this going? In our classrooms, it's not possible to do everything every time. So let's learn from these things. Learning through monuments. That's an amazing idea, where you are sending your kids to the nearest monument. Of course, every city, every state has its own monuments and own heritage. So you're sending them out, let them learn. And everybody thinks that learning through monuments is history. No, it's not like that. There is geography, there is history, there is science, there is mathematics, there is everything, every subject you can integrate with. This thing is what you call as learning through monuments. So new ideas, newer ways of approaching the same thing. This is the same, we all are doing it, but somehow it has dusted away with the memories, forgotten in the race to get the best board results for the schools. So that's at times we forget about all these things. So this is something which is again important. Let's create a community of classrooms. Let's not only have classrooms, let's have a community where you have clubs in the schools. Everybody has clubs in the schools. So again, sorry to say, but our clubs are only meant for those 2 periods in a week or 2 periods in a month and done. What are we actually getting out of those clubs? As a community, schools, like creating communities out of it, if you can actually create those kind of students, you can get them to learn the basic things. Like we do Swachhta Pakhwada, but that's only an activity we do in the month of July. Can't we do it every time? Let the children, if they have done something after the recess, the corridor is not clean, let them come and clean it. But then the parents would come, they would say, "Ki aapne mere bacche se safai kaise kara di?" So Swachhta Pakhwada activity, they are more than happy to do it. But as a same scenario, classroom scenario or corridor scenario, we're not doing it. We have to get that connect with our children so that they learn these things. So when you're creating those communities, like there's something called, we have something called Muthi Bhar Khushiyan. So we do a handful of rice and atta every Diwali. Everybody gets a handful of rice and atta, and then we collect it together and then send it to the needy. We have a secret Santa in winters where, you are coming up with your old woolens and giving it out to the students. So that is community connect. You're creating communities, not just activities. Everybody should know the importance of doing these things rather than just doing it for the heck of it. So my whole this year, my whole idea, my whole vision would be to create those activities. Again, same, I'm not changing anything, but I want to make them learn things. And last but not the least, I would say principal should be as a chief cultural officer of the school, because nowadays it's not that the principal sits here and then he delegates. A principal has to be the nucleus. He has to be in the center. If you're in the center of affairs, it is very easy that you are able to generate ideas and things out of it. So the moment you get more connected with your students, with your parents, with your teachers, it is much more happier, nicer, cleaner, more enthusiastic way of looking at things. So as a school leader, we must get to the nucleus of our schools and work from there, from the heart. Because if we work from the heart, it is very easy for us to connect with our people. So the whole idea behind this 45 minutes of talking with a lot of technical glitches in between is our connectivity. If we are connected with our parents, if we are connected with our students, if we are connected with our teachers, it's much more easier for us to make things actually work for us. The problem which we face normally is that we are not getting cooperation from XYZ. Why we are not getting cooperations? Because we are not connected with them. We have to build a connect. We have to build a resource. We have to build an environment where everybody feels important. Because we all have the same teething problems. We would all have the same teething problems. Now, how we deal with it, if we sit down with it thinking them as a problem, we'll always do with that. But if we start thinking it's an opportunity to learn from there, so we can always give a better solution. I have written in my office also, don't come to me with problems, come to me with solutions. So why not? So when you have that kind of a healthy discussion, you'll be having a fight, you'll be having disagreements, but at the end of the day, what outcome will come, that will definitely be for the welfare of your school, for the welfare of your students, for the welfare of your teachers, and as a human being, for the welfare of yours. Once, जब हम एक बारी शाम को बैठते हैं ना, when you're sipping up a coffee, you should feel happy about the fact that I have done something today, which is not only good for school, but for humanity as well. So, that sipping up of relaxation, otherwise we're always tense, ye karna hai, wo karna hai, putting up our reminders in the morning, this and that, in the evening, this and that. That's how the life is moving. So as a school head also, we must relax a bit. And once you're sipping up that evening coffee, you must, say yourself, okay, fine, Kunal, you've done a good job. I always do that. I would never look for appreciation from anyone. I would always say, Kunal, good one. Yeah, this was a good day. You've done something good. And I know when I've done wrong also. So I always make sure that I compliment myself. I'm my own favorite, like Kareena Kapoor in that Jab We Met. I'm my own favorite. So I don't need anybody to compliment. I'm always like, ab mujhe kuch karna hai to karna hai. Whether it is going to happen this way or that way, I make sure I let that thing happen. So I think, Gaurav, this will be my whole crux for the last 45 minutes. It's been touching 50 minutes. My top priorities would be to build up a happy school where my kids are coming in happily, my teachers are satisfied and happy, and my parents would wish to send the children to my school. So that would be my borderline or the bottom line or the conclusion of today, this talk, what we are talking here, that this is how it should be taken up.
No, fabulous. Absolutely. I think I should give myself a little compliment going by what you said, that I chose you for this session, right? So that's on the point that I think you covered such a wonderful spectrum, because starting with SWOT analysis, learning profiles, to being a cultural officer, I think in between everything, there were a lot of takeaways, I would say, very tangible, practical takeaways, which is very important for any discussion, because usually we are at the borderline of being a little preachy, and we end up not being preachy because the kind of audience you have, they all are practitioners, right? So I think you did a fabulous job. It was not just about doing what you are doing in your institution, but how passionately you're doing it. That is for me, that's the crux of the situation. That somehow when a principal or a teacher has to do what they do every day of the week, it becomes monotonous. Somehow life goes out of that entire profession. And bringing back life is a very, very important thing to our profession, right? And very passionate life. So fantastic. As I said, right, I had no doubts one bit when I approached you for this discussion, I knew that this will be a very power-packed, energetic discussion, and which exactly happened in the past 45 odd minutes. And I really don't want to stand between you and the questions which will come. So I will open the house for any kind of questions, observations. And I'm sure all of us really, because there's more than 100 of us here, all of us have stayed glued, made a lot of notes, but I open this house for conversation now. Over to each one of us. How we will do is we'll have to give us a virtual show of hand. We'll help you unmute and then you can ask your question. 𝒍𝒊𝒏, please go ahead. And I'm apologetic. I have to send the recording to you for the previous.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav, sir. Very nice session. Many new takeaways. Sir, I would like to know, somewhere you mentioned that you take one subject per week for revision.
Yes, ma'am.
Just please throw more light on this. If one subject for revision, then what about the other timetable, other slots of the day?
Ma'am, this is normally, this is basically an idea which can replace pre-board exams. This is more majorly for boarders. We have tried this for the board exam classes 10th and 12th. After the completion of their syllabus, the first pre-board is not done in a way like papers are one after the other. We chose 1 week, like for English. We have divided the English syllabus into 3 parts, a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday test. And on subsequent day, a discussion and we can't check everything. So we give them a answer key and the key points are discussed. So in 5 weeks, you're able to complete the five subjects with them, the major 5 subjects, the main 5 subjects.
Okay, sir. Thank you so very much.
Most welcome, ma'am.
Okay.
Tripti is next one. Then we go to Mr. Muddassir Bhatt. Tripti, over to you first, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Extremely inspiring. I was in and out, and in spite of the disruption, sir, I must say your energy and your enthusiasm is contagious, and it translated beautifully. We go back with a lot of beautiful ideas. I just wanted to ask you one question.
Please.
Where do you find your inspiration from to wake up every morning and to, how do you rejuvenate your spirits?
I think, ma'am, it's my school. I travel 70 kilometers from my home to my school every day and 70 kilometers back. So it's 150 kilometers drive every day. But my school is my inspiration. My school is my learning center. For the past 8 years, I'm with this institution now. Every evening, the school never let me sleep. I guess that's where you win. When the things are not letting you sleep. They say people, you should dream when you're sleeping. I always say that the dream should be the way. They should not let you sleep. So for me, my inspiration is my school, my teachers, my management, who always give me that flow of, driving all the everyday morning, reaching school and leaving in the evening. So that's my inspiration, my school.
Great. And how do you inspire? So what is that one thing, when you spoke about wellness and whatever, what do you think really keeps a teacher feeling inspired in school?
I think if you're hearing her out or hearing him out clearly all the time, if you're given a patient hearing to your teacher and try to resolve what issues, of course, you cannot resolve 100%. But even if you're giving a patient hearing, because I think we all as human beings, let's forget about teachers for a moment, we all as human beings would like to be listened. The problem is we are never heard. Because we are not heard, that's why we keep things within us and then it becomes a problem. So let's get heard. So whenever my teacher or anybody comes to me, I'll give them a very patient hearing and listen to their issue, work out wherever it is possible. And by the time 50% work is done, because they've thrown out what they wish to. And the rest 50% is always taken care of. So let's give them a patient hearing.
So do you have a structure for it, or do you let the teachers come to you when they need to talk to you?
Then they need to talk to me.
Okay. All right. Yes. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Tripti.
Thank you, Mr. Gaurava.
No, pleasure. And Ms. Tripti is a wonderful educator herself. In fact, she is based between Bangalore and I believe is Mysuru somewhere or Coimbatore. Sorry, so Coimbatore. Yes.
Coimbatore, yes, for now.
And I can vouch for whatever Dr. Kunal said, Ms. Tripti, because you got to meet him. Whenever you meet him, he has the same kind of energy, enthusiasm. And whatever he's saying, he walks the talk, basically. Fantastic.
Sir, are you coming for the 30th? Are you coming to Chennai?
No, I am coming. He's not coming. Yes.
Oh, you better be there.
Okay.
Mr. Gaurav, that's funny.
Yep. Any other question? I think there was Mudassir. I'm sorry, Mudassir. Yeah, go ahead, please. Mudassir Bhatt, you had a question or an observation? And at the same time, anyone else, please, we still have good 7 minutes with Dr. Kunal. If you have any question, any observation, or anything you want to add on, please give us a virtual show of hand. We would love to hear from you. Mudassir, while we tried unmuting you, if you want to still have that question, you can unmute yourself. Otherwise, if it already got answered, perfectly fine. I have disabled any kind of chats from the platform. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We will love to. And in fact, there was a query on your book link, by the way. Please
good evening, sir.
हाँ जी बोलिए प्लीज आपका वेट कर रहे थे हम
Good evening, sir. Sorry for inconvenience.
No problem.
So I'm Esteemed Guest from 𝒊𝒙𝒕𝒉 Higher Secondary School, Sopo. So my question is that you spoke about the different types of the assessments. Like you talked about that we should have a assessment per week for one subject or then another subject. So, sir, could you please tell us that what kind of this the assessments will be more suitable with this regard?
So I've answered this question. Ma'am has also asked me the same thing. This is basically more about a test series. Let's put it more easier. You can make a test series. Like you can have 4 chapters. Like if you're 12 chapters, you can have 4 chapters divided into 3 sections. Prepare a test series where the students can appear for a test series. Rather than giving them a full syllabus to revise, you can have one subject in 1 week where they can learn, understand, discuss with the teacher. And after that 1 week, those assessments are completed. The child has once revised the whole thing. Then probably you can go ahead with the structured assessment, as you call it, as pre-boards or whatever form we would like to take it. So this is basically, you can divide the syllabus into
Yeah, Kunal, we lost you on your network.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, there's some problem, I believe, again, with Dr. Kunal's network. I think he'll join us back. We'll take up Miss Preeti's question after that, and then Miss Pramila.
Very good evening to everybody. Very good evening, Gaurav. And I actually don't have a question. I'm quite feeling inspired. It's always nice to hear, journeys of different educators from different parts of the country, because I think we are mad hatters all together moving on, because that's what keeps us going. This is not a very, very easy line to be in. So I think, because we're very passionate, we go on. I'd love to know the link of the book, the name of the book by Sir, so that, we can not only make use of it for ourselves, but make sure we have a copy in the library and we can, read it bit by bit, maybe together with the staff in smaller meetings. It's always good to learn from each other. That's the only way forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
No,
I
definitely.
just request you to share that with us in the group later or now, whenever. Right?
We'll do that. We'll do that.
Yeah, thank you for
Definitely. Thank you.
quite an insightful session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Miss Pramila, but I think Dr. Kunal, while you were not around, Miss Preeti was complimenting your session, and she also requested for the link of your book, which she would love to.
Certainly.
And we would love to hear from you, Miss Preeti, while you are not on the video. Where are you from?
Yes. So very, very good evening again, Dr. Kunal. And I was just telling Gaurav, it is so inspiring to hear journeys from educators all over the country. Because I really believe, we are mad hatters. We show up every day, wanting to kind of go on. And sometimes the days may not be so positive, but one little thing that may happen in that day just kind of then makes you feel that, okay, I'm on the right track. I love doing this. I come back to it again tomorrow. So we'd love to get the link of your book, so that we could also, I think, read bit by bit with our staff members, and keep everybody inspired, because, जैसे बोलते हैं घर की मुर्गी दाल बराबर, right? So like everybody gets tired of, having the same, ideas coming sometimes. New ideas are welcome. Things that are happening in different schools are welcome. And so I missed your question, answering your question, Gaurav. I'm Preeti Suta from DPS Bangalore East.
Okay.
I have also been associated with the DPS family now for 31 years, rolling myself between Delhi, Mumbai, and now Bangalore.
Wow.
And so I can really, understand some of the passion coming there from Dr. Kunal, and I'd love to take back from your book too. So please do share that.
Certainly.
Absolutely. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for a beautiful session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Ms. Pramila, your question. Please go ahead.
Happy evening, first of all, everyone. This is the first thing which I have taken, that instead of giving good evening, it is happy evening. Very nice. And the second thing which I liked a lot is keeping your staff happy. As a leader of the school, if you are keeping your staff happy, so that reflection will be there somewhere in the class also, and automatically the school will be very happy. So in this row, I want to ask you about that. You were talking about paper publishing. So how, the teachers can do it, and how, I can help in the school in that. Please throw some light on it.
Certainly, ma'am. This is something which is not required to be a structured paper. In your school, you can start this exercise. You can ask your teachers to put down their 2 or 3 best practices. What are they doing? How they are doing? What is the learning objective out of it? What are the learning outcomes out of that? So that paper becomes a document. In the coming times, it will become a document for many new to refer. And then, of course, like we schools have Sahodaya groups here. So we can always circulate in our Sahodaya groups for other teachers to learn. So it's not required to be a structured paper. It can be in your school magazine. If you select the best paper out of 20 or 30 papers, let the teacher come and present that paper in any of the programs of the school. And probably that can be there in the school magazine also. So the teacher also gets, they don't need to go to generals and other things to publish their papers. It would be an in-house activity where teachers get really motivated so that they start getting new ideas. And it is easier for the new ones who are joining your team to carry forward that legacy of what the teachers have put in. So that's how we are doing it.
Great. Very nice. Thank you, Anand sir. Thank you, Gaurav sir. Wonderful.
Love to know you. Where are you from as well? आपको unmute करना होगा. दोबारा से आप mute हो गए.
I'm from Jaipur, sir.
Very nice. Fantastic. Good to have you. I think there was one more question, which was, I think, from Ritu Rai. If you still have that question, we'll take that question up, Ritu. Otherwise, Ritu, you had a question, Ritu Rai, right? I saw your hand. I noted down. If the question is already answered, perfectly fine.
Yes, sir. Good evening and Jai Hind, everyone. I'm from Balia, Sunbeam School. My question is that sir said that about staff room. My question is that in what way can the staff room be used for collaborating planning?
Ma'am, I think the staff rooms are the best. That's why remove that strip of saying staff room, put it a resource center over there. So the moment you put that, your teachers they will feel themselves motivated rather than just talking and gossiping and having a cup of tea. They start discussing more things. Like we talked about paper presentations. We talked about paper publishing. So those things become a topic of your school, in your staff rooms. It should not be just these topics. You can put some good quotations out there, remove the camera. Remove the camera from your staff room. I don't have a camera in my staff room. So you can remove the camera from the staff rooms and let that develop into a resource center than a gossip center.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. While I'll slightly disagree with you, Dr. Kunal, at the cost of being a little unpopular, there's some bit of gossip in life which is also needed. By the way. I personally believe that's very productive.
Very productive. You know, that grapevine things are really very productive. But what I'm trying to say, Gaurav sir, over here is, let them do the way, let it be at their ease.
Correct.
अगर वो एक दूसरे की टांग भी खींच रहे हैं या अपना कुछ कर रहे हैं, कुछ कर तो रहे हैं. Idea is कि वो कुछ कर रहे हैं.
Absolutely.
Constructive.
Lovely. 100%. I mean, as I said, I was trying to put it on the lighter side, which is that that sometimes we have these brilliant ideas come through
brilliant ideas, sir. Actually,
right, very informal settings, what I believe, for that matter, right? So lovely, but I would respect the time now, and because it is 6:33 by my watch, I said that we'll complete this by 6:30. I would first, on behalf of everyone, like to thank you, Dr. Kunal, for a lovely session. Absolutely inspiring, passionate, I would say, right? Everyone enjoyed it. Everyone had few questions for you. Everyone complimented you as well. We would love to get the link of your book, which please do share with me. We will in fact further circulate it, and I'm sure it will be a great read. Everyone who had joined us this evening, thank you very much for your valuable time. We hope to see you next time. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Happy evening, everyone.
Everyone, take care.